Well, that was TMG with Stepping Out, and on the other end of the line we have Steve Mulry. How are you going this evening, Steve?
Great, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm very, very well. Thank you for joining us, and it's great to see that TMG has been back in the recording studio.
Yeah, I reckon it's been a while, something I didn't actually expect to happen, but I'm really glad it has. It's terrific that there's still new songs to be let out, shall we say. And
it's a great song as well, but we'll talk a little bit more about the song later. But just tell us about the current lineup of TMG.
Okay, well, obviously I'm in now. I'm the ring in. Still the original three members with Les Hall, Herman Kovac, and Gary Dixon. Mm-hmm. And I don't play bass, not very well anyway. So the bass player duties is Tony Mitchell these days.
Yes,
from Sherbet.
Yes, a lot of people, listeners will remember Tony Mitchell, but a lot of people do remember TMG. I have very fond memories of going to see the band in various pubs around Melbourne, and it's just they're always just such a great rock band, and obviously Ted was such a great front man as well. So,
yeah, I agree. I can't believe you're old enough to have been around to be on the gigs then, Andrew. You've got a very young voice.
Oh, that's nice to hear. But no, look, one of the things I actually do remember, in the early days, going to see them in pubs in Melbourne was, like most bands at the time, they were writing their own original material and that, but they'd usually play covers as well. And I just remember them doing some fantastic versions of Bad Company songs and Free and some of those sort of things.
That's right. Yeah. I still do Status Quo. In fact, we're doing Status Quo as well.
You still do some? Yeah, because I think I remember TMG playing Caroline and maybe some songs like that.
That's right. Well, we did do Caroline, I think, once, but we do the old favourite, Rockin' All Over the World. Yep. And actually Gary Dixon sings that one rather than myself. I do the backing vocals for that one. Mm-hmm. Gary's always sang that one live. Okay. So he's still doing that too.
Yeah, so tell us what a TMG live show is like these days.
Well, I think it's. I'm a bit biased, I suppose. Mm-hmm. What I find with playing in the band is the guys are unbelievable. Like whenever we want to go for, whenever we do play, which we haven't played since 2020. Yes, 2020. Mm-hmm. That's right. I got it right. Whenever whenever we were going to do a run of shows, it's only ever one rehearsal. Mm-hmm. Even if we haven't been together for 18 months or so, it's only ever one rehearsal. I guess because they played the stuff so often years ago, it sort of gets ingrained in you. But they're just amazing people to play with, and the live show is quite exciting, and the people who come to see us are basically the same fans that used to come and see the band, 40 odd years ago. Mm-hmm. So they're a bit older, but they still want to rock out.
Yep. Oh, look, there's, so many people just want to get out now and see some live music. We've really missed it, obviously, during COVID. And, the audience that grew up with TMG, they are a little bit older now, but a lot of them have, some spending money and some free time on their hands. And so, we want to get out. We just want comfortable venues.
I was going to mention that, actually. You said it a very nice way, comfortable venues, because, it's not like... doing pub shows where people are standing all night. Some of the people who come and see the band are in their 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. They don't want to stand up all night. They want to go to a club and probably have a dinner, and have a table to sit at. Mm-hmm. If they want to get up and have a shuffle around, they can do that, but then sit down again. Like a lot of pubs, you can't do that. So You're right. Yeah, and does that make touring sort of harder? Because I know, like in New South Wales and Queensland, that you've got a lot of clubs and things that are set up for those sort of shows. Down in Victoria, it's always been more of a pub sort of scene. True. Yeah. True. So does that make it a little bit more difficult for you to tour places like Victoria? Yeah, it has. We've done a few in Victoria. The last one we did in 2020 was in Denote. and that really was mainly a standing thing rather than a sit down, and that was the One Stop Music Festival. But we've also played the casino down there, and which of course is a seated venue, and that's the kind of thing we need for the people to come and see us. So yeah, you're right. We've done quite a few in Queensland and New South Wales, because I joined the band in 2016. When the band decided to reform, and so the main venues were clubs. That's the best thing. We've done theatres, but I don't think theatres are good in regards to TMG, because even though some people, as I said, are older, they still want to get up and have a little bit of a dance. You can't do that in a theatre.
No, well, that's right. No, it's much better in a club where you can, as you said, have a meal, have a few drinks, and have a dance and have a great night. And it's great to see, there's a lot of bands from that era still out there, like bands like the Radiators as well, I know, are still touring around, and which is great to see.
And the Angels and Dragon.
And the Angels.
I think it's terrific that we're all still able to do it.
Yeah, no, well, that's right. But are you planning to do some live shows in the near future?
Yes, we are. It's not towards the end of the year, because myself and Gary Dixon and Tony Mitchell all have other bands that we play in. And so we're planning now. We've been playing for the last probably 5 weeks or so, when we can weave ourselves in between all the shows that we've already got booked. But we should be starting around about November. With no actual dates. Actual dates fixed.
Oh, we've got to find you a venue somewhere in Victoria that you can.
Well, we need to come your way.
Yes.
We need to come your way.
Yeah, no, we'd love to hear some of those great songs. So what are some of your favourite of Ted's songs that you like playing?
Actually, my two favourite songs. Well, actually, one of them Ted didn't really write. He wrote the second verse to it because it was an old track from 1917, which is Darktown Study Ball. I love playing that song. I love that song. And the other one I like is from it's the title track from an album called Disturbing the Peace. And I love that song. They're my two favourite Ted Mulry Gang songs. I like the modern ones too, but we haven't started to play them yet. The new tracks. And of course, people come to see you to listen to the old songs.
Well, yeah, you need to get that balance right, don't you? I mean, it's great introducing new music, but people do still want to hear a lot of the old sort of stuff.
It doesn't matter who the band is. It can be Kiss. It can, if they bring a new album out, everybody wants to hear all the old Kiss songs, and fair enough, rightfully so. They're the songs that made them famous, and we're in that same boat as well. So we'll probably only play possibly 3 songs from the new album live, and just the rest of it will just all be the old stuff.
Now you mentioned you've got another band as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, me personally, I've got several, but I've got my own band, which is called Lawless Breed. In fact, we're recording later this year. We've got an album coming out later this year. It's a bit heavier than TMG. There's a lot of boogie, a lot of I suppose we're very much an American Southern style, like the Skinner. That kind of thing, but the heavier side of Skinner. And another band I'm in is called The Rock Show, which was John English's band. And I was asked about 3 years ago if I'd like to, be a part of that band. Unfortunately, John's no longer with us, been gone 7 years. And I said I'd love to, and that's been really good. That band is actually a theatre band. We play a lot of theatres, and they are just such a good band, multi-instrumentalists. They're just amazing. It's an 8-piece band. So that's it. That's that. And I work during the day. It's a day job.
Well, and that's the big thing, isn't it? It's so interesting when I've talking to people about their careers. I was talking to, I know, John Kennedy, and he's put out some fantastic new music, and I was talking to him, and he said, "Oh yeah, but my day job is an architect." It's just the way it is, isn't it? Unfortunately,
it is. We've all got bills to pay. We've all got mortgages to pay off. And unfortunately, band wages haven't really gone up in the last 40 years.
No,
not much anyway.
No, that's exactly right. Now, we'll get back to this new single. So tell us a little bit about the process of recording the new single.
Okay, so the interesting thing with this particular, well, the whole album, as a matter of fact, but was that Les, over the years, has been writing songs, Les Hall, and he had enough songs. He had about 11 songs, and contacted Herman Kovac, the drummer, who has his own studio, to he wanted to record some of his songs, and Herm said, yeah, sure. So he was playing some songs to him, and he said, look, he said, Les, because what Les had done, he'd done a home recording, 4-track or whatever, with him playing the bass and a drum machine, and him playing guitar, and then singing the vocals. And he said, look, I'll tell you what, he said, why don't I play drums on it for you? He said, we'll get Steve to do vocals, and we'll just get Tony in to play some bass, and rather than you having to do it the whole lot. He said, oh, yeah, okay. So in the process of that, by the third song, Herm said to Les, mate, really, he said, this could be a TMG album, the way it's going, because it sounds TMG-ish, but a little bit with a newer twist, And Les said, oh, you think so? He said, absolutely. So it turned into a TMG album, even though that wasn't the intention. But the process has been great. Obviously, going in Herm's studio, I've recorded there before. He knows what he's doing. He's a great producer and does a lot of country music producing. And it was just a pleasure to record, particularly those guys, and Les in particular. He was very good at guiding, in regards to what he had in his head to how he wanted it to come out. And I think it's come out, obviously, as I said before, I'm biased, but I think it's come out really well.
Yeah, that's great. So how many tracks have you recorded at this stage?
We did record 11.
11 tracks, yep. And when do you think they'll actually see the light of day? Well,
they've all been recorded as of now, and they've been mastered, and they're ready to go. So even though the single's only just come out a week ago, probably within a month to 2 months, I'd say the album will be ready to be released.
Yep.
So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, the single is called La La, and it's a very interesting topic when you actually listen to the words. Tell us a little bit about how that song came about.
Yeah, well, again, Les wrote the whole song himself. He was watching TV one night, and he likes to watch, in fact, both he and Herm like to watch things about, the cartels around the world, drug and whatnot. And so he was sitting one night just watching this and started to write about it, because he had noticed in the documentary that he was watching that there was, women in the background and children and all that kind of thing. And he, him being a father and grandfather himself, it sort of affected him in regards to what these people go through. The ones who are basically slave workers, for the cartels. And he just wrote that song. So yes, it's the song itself is a bit of a dark subject, which I think he's handled really well lyrically. And the music isn't dark, though. The music isn't dark, so it's a bit of a contrast between the music being sort of an upbeat, happy sort of tune, with a dark storyline to it.
Yeah. And so if people want to access the single, is it out on all the different streaming platforms?
Well, it's supposed to be. I've been checking myself recently, but I mean, at the moment, I know definitely they can go to YouTube if they want to have a listen to it.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not 100% sure of the streaming sites at the moment.
Yeah, okay, no, well, I'm sure it will get there eventually. And when the album comes out, what sort of formats do you think you'll be able to put it out on? Because it's been a bit of a dilemma for a lot of artists at the moment. They don't know whether to put things out on CD or on vinyl or just on digital download. What's the thinking at the moment?
Initially, for release, it'll be streaming. Now, what we will do is when we tour, when we start gigging, obviously we will have CDs. I don't think we'll go vinyl yet. Vinyl's quite expensive to make. So that's a bit of a commitment, if you don't know if people are going to buy it.
Yep.
And CDs are quite a good commitment too, but at least they are cheaper to make.
Yep.
So CDs will be available, and that way, people always like to come and buy CDs and get your signatures and,
Yep.
Get that kind of thing. And so it will be streaming to start with. Maybe downloads, I don't know 100%, I'm not 100% sure about that, but definitely streaming, and then CDs at gigs.
Yep. Okay, and TMG still has a website that people can access?
Yes, it's tedmulrygang.com, and, they can access anything from there. We've got all the old CDs, there's even some old vinyl for sale there,
yep.
And T-shirts, all the regular merchandise stuff, and anything that's upcoming will be on there. In fact, you can actually listen to La La on the website, because the actual video clip, the lyric video clip is on the website.
Yep.
There's a lot on the website, and it'll be updated.
Well, hopefully all our listeners will get onto the website and have a look and have a listen, and maybe buy some merchandise. And I should also mention the Australian Road Crew Association. We talked to Adrian Anderson a while back about all the wonderful work he does with them, and one of the things, as a fundraiser, they've been putting out digital downloads of old cassettes that were recorded at various concerts over the years. I believe there's a live the desk tapes, and I believe there is a Ted Mulry Gang one that exists somewhere.
Yes, that was from Fairfield in New South Wales, and that was found, and being a cassette 40 years old, or close to it at the time, when it was brought out, it's needed just a little bit of love and care to bring it back to something reasonable, because cassette tapes don't age well. But it came out really well, and yes, that's been available now on the website, I think, for the desk tape.
If people just Google the Australian Road Crew Association or put desktop series, and you can order. There's a whole lot of just great Australian music there, but I did listen to the TMG one quite a while back, and I thought that was sounding fantastic and just really representative of what the live shows were like. And we should sort of mention all those roadies out there, because a lot of them are doing it pretty sort of tough, because they're not too much superannuation or medical benefits for all those guys that were lugging cases around in the 60s and 70s. And I mean, you had a very loyal roadie, I believe, with TMG.
Ron Clayton. Yeah, he was with the band before the band started, because the band came from a band previously which was called Velvet Underground. Of course, there's an American band called that too, but the Australian Velvet Underground, which had Herman Kovac and Les Hall, and Malcolm Young.
Malcolm Young as well. That's right.
Yeah, so he was with that band. He was roadie for them.
Yep.
So before TMG started 50 years ago, he was roading already. So he was. I think he's the longest lasting roadie to be with one band, like to be with a single entity.
Yep. And I believe he's actually written a book. Is that right, about his...
that's right. And that book, he wrote it a few years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it is on the actual Ted Mulry Gang website, if anybody wants to purchase that.
Yep.
It's quite an interesting book, shall we say?
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to sort of order myself a copy of it, because I haven't sort of read it yet, so I'll have to get onto the website myself.
Yeah, so the shenanigans that bands got up to in those days, he didn't sort of hold anything back.
Yeah, no.
In that book.
No, that's great. But he just said, because I noticed some of his Facebook posts occasionally, and he's still always sort of talking about TMG and pushing the cause, which is just wonderful.
He always is. He always has done, and he's not only the band's roadie, head roadie, he was also a fan,
Yeah.
And you can tell that in his posts.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Dedicated. And in fact, he recently worked, he was one of the roadies for, still working on it. It blows me away, for Paper Lace when they came out.
Oh, really? Yeah, actually, I do remember seeing some stuff on Facebook. That's right. That's amazing.
You never stop.
Yeah, no, but we just need to remember all those guys because the music would never have happened without all those sort of roadies. So we need to be supporting them through things like the Australian Road Crew Association, and also Support Act, which is another great group that support artists. Well, look, it's been wonderful to talk to you tonight, Steve, and congratulations on the new single, and we will go out with it right now, and hopefully everybody will get onto your website and have a listen, get onto YouTube and come out and see the live shows, and hopefully we'll get down to Melbourne at some stage.
Yep, cheers. Look, it's great being on the show. Thanks very much for having me on. And, we'll come down to Melbourne at some stage.
Yeah.
As I said, dates aren't set, but we'll be there.
Great. Okay, thanks very much for that, Steve. This is Lala.
Thanks, Andrew.
There's no